Thanks, Frank. The weather is pretty cold right now, but luckily the sun is shining through. Now, the ceremony was supposed to be here at the Veterans Memorial, but the weather was looking a little too wintry out there on Veterans Day, so they moved it inside to the Walsh Auditorium. Now, in a moment of silence and honoring those who serve our nation, Veterans Day has a special meaning here at St. Bonaventure. I sat down with the newly appointed president and former vice president, Ben Vitale, and he talked about what the process was like being named the new president and what kind of things the SGA has planned for the future. Going from the old and outdated location to a new but temporary location is a big step for the station. I sat down with the station manager, Ryan Lombardi, and we talked about the whole transfer process. In Cattaraugus County, only 16.8% of people are collecting those SNAP benefits. Now that's 2,102 households with kids. And back in 2020, Olean had 24.9% of households collecting those food stamps. Thanks, Frank. The weather is pretty cold right now, but luckily the sun is shining through. Now, the ceremony was supposed to be here at the Veterans Memorial, but the weather was looking a little too wintry out there on Veterans Day, so they moved it inside to the Walsh Auditorium. Now, in a moment of silence and honoring those who serve our nation, Veterans Day has a special meaning here at St. Bonaventure. On a campus rooted in Franciscan values of service, community, and compassion, people gathered to St. Bonaventure's Veterans Day ceremony to honor those who have and who are in service. The university's ROTC cadets stood out among the rest as they represent the next generation preparing to serve. I spoke with ROTC cadet Ethan Baxter about how Franciscan values influence being a cadet and wanting to serve.
And one thing that really stuck out to me is how selfless the Franciscan values are, how willing they are to give to other people. So a big part of the Army and what we practice in ROTC is selfless service. It's one of our core values. So just giving up our time and effort to other people to make sure everybody is situated and everybody's doing well for themselves. That's a big part of the Army and ROTC.
After the ceremony, people were invited to an open house here at the Foxhole Lounge, a space where veterans and military-aligned students can connect, decompress, and continue the Franciscan mission. Baxter also emphasized that the ROTC program here on campus is relatively small with only about 20 people. And he also said that the veterans' presence here at St. Bonaventure is very strong as well. Outside the Riley Center at the Veterans Memorial, Nicholas Carbone, SBU TV. WSBU The Buzz has moved locations from the Riley Center to Plasman Hall. The final home for the radio station will be in the Murphy building, but once it's done being renovated. Going from the old and outdated location to a new but temporary location is a big step for the station. I sat down with the station manager, Ryan Lombardi, and we talked about the whole transfer process.
We were actually supposed to move into Murphy 102, but then over the summer they kind of progressed the renovation. So instead of doing it in stages, they're going to do the renovation all at once. So then it was kind of over the summer we found that out, and it was where are we going to be moving to? And originally we were supposed to start the semester in Plasman, but with everything having to get shipped and this station having to be built, we didn't get to, everything got delayed, but now we're here and that's all that matters.
Even in an outdated station, The Buzz was known as one of the top college radio stations, being nationally ranked number 3 back in 2019 by the Princeton Review.
When the engineers came to build our station, that they've been doing a long time, they said our station was the worst they've ever seen, the worst they've ever had to rebuild. So yeah, with that kind of equipment, and we were still that good because the talent's great. The talent we have is awesome. Everybody works really, really hard in the station, and now with new equipment, we're going to sound even better, and we're going to make our broadcast that much better.
For SBU TV, Nicholas Carbone. The Emma Gavazzi situation is officially closed. After a long process with the university, Gavazzi has been suspended from campus and has been stripped of all her titles, including being the Student Government Association president. While she was in that position, she oversaw all ideas pitched to help the student body, like putting in new streetlights and repaving the road from the east side of campus to main campus, and repaving the sidewalk in between Plasman and the university ministry building. I sat down with the newly appointed president and former vice president, Ben Vitale, and he talked about what the process was like being named the new president and what kind of things the SGA has planned for the future.
So the process of going from vice president to president has been pretty smooth so far. I have pretty much been taking on the same responsibilities as I was before and just added some more stuff to my plate.
He also mentioned a project for some community spaces on the east side of campus.
We even thinking some sort of like fire pits and pavilion out there, maybe some sports facilities eventually. We had a meeting with Dr. Gingrich where we drew some sketches, kind of just thought of everything we could think of and threw up on a paper and got a pretty cool draft. We presented it to the Board of Trustees, and now it is, they're talking about it in their master planning meeting.
I also asked Vitali if he had anything to say on Gavazzi, which he replied with no comment. For SBU TV, Nicholas Carbone.